So much is shifting in us with this energy. Not only is it creating deep, intense clearings, but it is also asking us to step up in our power. Many are finding that as they clear away all the things that no longer serve, that it has paved the way for new abilities, greater clarity and intuition to come through. Many are also finding themselves in new or expanded roles. Recently I went to the hot springs to soak in the healing waters, but was disappointed because the water felt tired, worn out. I didn't know if it was because it was spring break and the place was crowded or if the waters were simply tired of clearing our crap. I suspected the latter. I told my husband that we needed to return later in the evening when the place would be much quieter, as I wanted to do a water blessing. Later I went into a quiet pool and connected with the water, sending her love and source energy. I could feel the energy shift, particularly as I sent gratitude for her service and what she has done to help so many. Just then, an American Indian appeared before me and I assumed it was an earthbound spirit, but the energy was different. He began asking me what I was doing, and when I explained, he wanted to know how I knew to do this. As we talked, he asked me if I was dead, and surprised I said, "No, I thought you were dead." He looked just as shocked as me as he found himself surrounded by two other American Indians. As they looked at me and discussed the fact that I wasn't dead, the area behind them opened up and I saw the energetic trail to a time long ago. To my surprise, I saw that somehow I had become part of a shamanic ceremony, one in which the participants were journeying to the future to see what was to come of the healing waters they had known and loved. They just happened to connect to me as I was connecting to the water in ceremony. The shaman in charge of the ceremony asked me a few questions about what was to come and how best to support the waters. What I realized in that moment is that we have considerable power to change all that is. We have the ability to change all that is around us by simply connecting and shifting the energy. We have the ability to go forwards and backwards in time, as it is simply a spiral, and give and receive information to help us expand. The entire purpose of Ascension is to become the living, breathing embodiment of your soul while still in the body. This requires that you become empowered and truly see the effect that you have all around you. Much of our world and the systems, education, government, medical, religion, etc., in it are designed to disempower us. Part of our return to self is to consciously realize the impact we have on all around us. The energies and the universe, your soul, are conspiring to bring you just the right circumstances to show you where you feel disempowered and the discord this unnatural state causes. With the realization that all is from Source, with the only distinction being the amount of disconnection each being holds, you begin to realize just how potent Source energy is to awakening one to who they truly are. Often this realization hits a person and they want to awaken the whole world by sharing their truth. Unfortunately, this is not always met with welcoming acceptance, but rather like a mule sitting on its butt refusing to move. This then breeds further disempowerment and the energy of not being heard or seen. What is required is a softer approach, one without judgment or attachment. While a person may not want to discuss enlightenment and ascension, they may experience a shift if you make the intention that every person that comes in contact with your aura feels the unconditional love of Source in their life. By intention and focus alone, you can make that a reality. While there will be a few that did not respond well to the energy emanating off of you, understand that even in their uncomfortableness, seeds are being planted. Imagine the impact if everywhere you went you place the intention that everyone who walks through the door feels loved and received healing. I personally place a gold waterfall on the doorway of places I go, and am amazed at the energy shift that has taken place when I returned there a few months later. We are not powerless beings, we have just forgotten how powerful we truly are. We have forgotten how this world works because we have been told something different over and over again. This universe, your universe, can be transformed through love and intent. Two simple and very powerful tools. Understand that right now we are being shown our deepest seated patterns. The things that we have done over and over again that hold us back from being the walking masters we are. As these are being shown to us, it is an opportunity to do, say, and be different than we have been before. The moment we choose not to go down that well-traveled path of similar reaction, we begin to rewrite the codes hidden deep within our form. This rewriting then triggers deep release from our tissues, allowing us to see from a new perspective and heal the wounds that caused the initial patterning. This rewriting is not done in one moment, as the pattern didn't develop in one moment, but each time we choose to act outside our comfort zone, we create a new path, a new way that opens so many new doors. I was working with my highest aspect in regards to a deep-seated program of avoiding conflict, and I told her I was struggling. She said, "You do not struggle. You are releasing. You have already done the hardest part, seeing what needs to be released." This put things into perspective for me, and I share in the hope that it assists you as well. Physically, where each of us is in this process differs. Some are feeling great and others can barely get off the couch. Part of what we are experiencing is a rise in the Schumann resonance. As this frequency rises, everything on our planet must rise with it. This means that we must undergo a recalibration of our entire body systems, particularly the brain. What this means physically is that many are experiencing headaches, fatigue, muscle and joint aches, and a flare-up of chronic conditions. I asked my team how I could tell the difference between when I'm experiencing physical upgrades or when I am simply feeling emotions trying to release from my form. Their answer was simple: it depends on the emotions being felt. In other words, if your body is aching and you are exhausted, but your spirits are high, then it is simply a physical upgrade. However, if you are feeling deep anxiety, fear, sadness, anger, etc., as well as the body aches, this can point to the need to look at where these emotions have set up in the body and the need to clear them. I hope that this message finds you well. I have been deep in process and find myself in awe at the transformation and the abilities opening up. As much as we may wish it, this process isn't going to slow for quite some time, yet as we release and physically adjust, it will feel much more stable. Be easy on yourself and give yourself all the time, love, and space you need to go through this transformation. Much love to you all. Jenny.